Hello and welcome back to Drama Investigator. Jeffree Star is being called a hypocrite recently after some of his fans believe that he stole his bloodlust packaging idea from Lorak's 2014 holiday collection called The Royal. Now Jeffree Star is being made out to be some sort of sinner all over the internet at the moment because of all the evidence that's surfacing, but I believe it's only fair to look at all sides, even if it's really hard because there's only really one side to the story and it's the truth, but I will try my very hardest to not offend his stands and look at all sides of this messy situation. Lorak Cosmetics, for those of you who don't know, is a makeup brand that's apparently great for beginners and skilled makeup users alike, since their products are so easy to use and are jam-packed with versatile shades and a healthy mix of mattes and shimmers. Lorak is sold at Ulta, so it's a pretty established brand. In terms of price point, it's relatively affordable as well. So let's rewind a little. In the past, Jeffree Star has been quick to accuse other brands of stealing others' ideas, including his own, which is fair enough. A few examples of this was when he called out Kylie Cosmetics for copying his liquid lipstick packaging back in 2017. He had tweeted, "I gotta know one thing, with all that effing money she's made, why did Kylie Cosmetics use the same packaging as my liquid lipsticks that have been out since 2014? Invest and make something different maybe?" Jeffree also called out Huda Beauty for copying his campaign photo shoots. Huda copies everyone. They also copied Colourpop Cosmetics, to which Jeffree Star had mentioned in one of Huda's photos on Instagram. "Hey Colourpop Cosmetics, loving your new collection, congrats." Shady. In the past, Huda has also stolen ideas from small indie brands like Beauty Bakery Makeup, and fans were the ones to call out Huda instead of the brand they ripped off. When Huda Beauty had teased the upcoming line, Huda Easy Bake, with teaser shots, Huda Guitan appeared to be whipping up a storm in the kitchen where she advertised her new line of themed products, but fans were quick to point out the striking similarity to Beauty Bakery's campaign photos and the theme for their products they had recently released. At the time of the drama, the brand had made this post on their Instagram with a caption stating, "To everyone atting us from her page, always know there's enough cake for everyone. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. That's why we're better, not bitter." Jeffree had also called out Huda Beauty for doing this. So basically Jeffree is so used to other people copying him and calling people out for their actions, starting huge online arguments, and sending his fans to defend himself and other brands who've been done dirty. And then he turns around and does something similar himself. This is what's pissing people off. So as of late, Jeffree's royalty-themed Bloodlust collection has been accused of being a replica of Lorak's 2014 holiday collection at The Royal. I mean, even the name, come on. The packaging, the shape of the palette, the design around the edges of the palette. And for a moment I was like, maybe this is just some weird coincidence. Maybe it is. That's what a lot of his hardcore fans would be saying right now. Well. Shane Dawson had actually exposed Jeffree himself back when the documentary was filmed. Maybe they were being a little too transparent when filming inside of the office, because what they forget is that people pause and zoom in. Saucy. In the second makeup series with Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson was shown to be in Jeffree's office looking through palettes for inspiration. One of the palettes he held was Lorak's The Royal, proving Jeffree Star had prior knowledge of this specific collection before he decided to allegedly duplicate it and resell it, and probably make millions more than the original did itself. Now people were also quick to point out, instead of the palette being called Royal Blood, which would have fit better with the theme of Jeffree's current collections, he decided to name the palette Bloodlust, because it doesn't really have any ties to the name Royal, in which people would have quickly investigated and found this out. And maybe then the Lorak brand owners could have called him out about it, although they should have called him out anyway because the resemblance is just uncanny. I mean, come on. People are waiting on an angry Instagram story from Jeffree Star. Wouldn't be surprised if there was some beautiful explanation as to why these packagings are so similar. Now in Jeffree's defense, the Lorak Royal Holiday Collection isn't actually a palette. It's just a set in similar packaging, and because it's not a palette, that doesn't make things as bad as if it was a palette, because then it's just downright copying. But in saying that, stealing artwork and packaging is a notorious constant thing that's happening, and it's kind of sad if you think about it. Someone spent months working on a piece of art just for someone else to come along and use it for free or profit off it. It's incredibly rude. It's also very hypocritical of Jeffree to do this if you think about it. He's released a huge series with Shane Dawson about the truth of the beauty and makeup industry and how dirty it really is. Well, that's very ironic because this is a shady thing to do also. Jeffree's series is all about painting him in a good light, shedding light on his amazing work ethics and morals, someone who treats treats his employees amazingly, because he does do that, I'll give him that. He's still paying his employees, by the way, over lockdown. Meanwhile, Sephora's firing their employees over the phone, and they're a way more profitable corporation than Jeffree. Jeffree said it himself in the past, he's a small makeup brand in the scheme of things, but he also took such great pride in his packaging and makeup formulation within the documentary, and how he's very original in everything he creates. But the similarities here are just uncanny. At the end of the day, we haven't heard a response from the brand, so there is a possibility that they may have been in on it, and maybe Jeffree bought the idea of them. Also, maybe Lorac is getting some sort of royalty, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Jeffree probably has a very good reason for copying this brand. He usually has a good reason to back up anything he does, or a great apology painted out by a highly skilled PR team. Neither brand, however, created or invented the idea of a hexagon royal looking makeup package themselves. If you think about it, how many rectangular palettes are out there? There's a lot. How many circle palettes are out there? Probably a lot as well. In terms of colour stories, they're clearly different. I mean, Jeffree's whole theme was purple. Meanwhile, this other brand was like a deep burgundy colour on the packaging, and the contents of the packaging included nude shades of makeup, including eyeshadows, lipsticks, lip gloss, mascara, and maybe even an eyeliner or a brow pencil. So that's very different to Jeffree's palette. Now, you could argue both sides, but I'm just stating the facts here. I like looking at all sides of an investigation. The packaging is dodgy whether you like Jeffree or not. There's so many similarities you can point out. Now, there's another brand people aren't calling out who did an entire collection of palettes with the same hexagon shape and more of a similar colour scheme with their palettes. Far more similar to Lorac's Royal Holiday collection than Jeffree Star's Bloodlust palette, I might add. So let's take a look, shall we? Catrice Cosmetics released their Essence Party eyeshadow palettes in 2019, I believe, which is well after Lorac's release. And they released a couple of these palettes. One was the Supreme Party, a sparkly hexagon palette containing nude, matte, and shimmery eyeshadows. They then released a Royal Party palette. Royal. They used the name Royal, which is very similar to Lorac, alongside the packaging minus the pink sparkles. And then within that palette, there were nude shades. Great colours, but they definitely stole their idea from Lorac Cosmetics. They didn't even come up with an original colour scheme. So I think the issue people are having, more than Jeffree allegedly copying the design of Lorac's holiday collection, is that he's constantly called out other brands in the past for copying other creators or smaller indie brands, yet he just kind of did it himself. Like, what is going on? Another conspiracy that's going around is that brands actually go out of their way to buy packaging from companies that specialise in packaging designs, and apparently multiple brands can buy the same packaging. Get new suppliers, girlfriends. Y'all are releasing the same stuff. Apparently this conspiracy that brands buy packaging designs was introduced to the public after Norvina was explaining why ABH mascara looks similar to the Fenty mascara. Throwback to when this happened, fans were calling her out, tweeting, "Anastasia's mascara packaging looks way too similar to Fenty Beauty." Norvina had responded to this at the time, stating, "I'm so excited about this launch and really don't want to reference another mascara when announcing our product for the first time, but it's worth it if it leads to more awareness of industry practices." Tons of industry people read your posts and will know exactly what I am explaining below. I'm just saying this to make everyone aware that if what I said didn't make sense, it can be disputed, but I wouldn't. Following this is a timeline. Lash Bragg bottle design was finalised late 2018, which was already a tad late, but I took forever and I was never happy with the rose gold shade. Looked too red for a long time. Production starts on the bottle in China and it takes 3 months. It then gets on a ship to Italy for 6 weeks. There it gets filled over the next 4 to 5 months and gets back on a ship for 5 weeks to the US. It goes through QA and then is ready to go out. We show retailers our spring launches in August. This was seen last August 2019 by buyers. The product has to ship to US retailers 6 weeks prior to the launch date and international 10 weeks earlier. Those are the rules, not ours. Product launches on March the 10th. The Fenty mascara launched 2 months ago. Did we notice packaging similarities then? Yes. But what can we do about it at that point? Not much. Everything about the product is different, but yes, they do share a similar design. So maybe Jeffree in this instance bought this design from a company who supplied the same idea to Lorac Cosmetics, but that in itself sounds kind of like a reach, but it is a possibility that we have to rule out. Even though in the past, Jeffree has stated that his makeup is expensive because of the custom packaging, meaning that his company makes all their palettes, and none of his palettes have ever looked somewhat similar to any other brands before. Lastly, it's important to note that on Lorac Cosmetics website, when I searched up their holiday collection, there was no hexagon looking holiday collection available, which means that this is a discontinued product. So if that's the case, Jeffree Star has every right to make bank off this product. I mean, obviously it would have been courteous of him to give some sort of acknowledgement to the Lorac brand, but at the end of the day, there is supply and demand from a business standpoint. Also, people are saying in his defense. So overall, Jeffree Star invented geometry. For those of you who don't know, No, he didn't. Hexagons have been around for centuries, would you believe? But we have to remember his brand is different and his packaging is alternative. It's just the packaging at the end of the day which is extremely similar, not the products themselves. The theme also has some minor similarities like the velvet on the inside of the boxes. I think one way Jeffree could have gone about this was to state he drew some huge inspiration from Lorac's holiday collection, whilst also acknowledging publicly that he did this, because at this point, the amount of times he's come for other brands copying him, this does make him look like a hypocrite. So what are your thoughts on all this drama? Do you think Jeffree will respond to this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's all for this investigation. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. My social media will be linked down below, and I'll see you guys in our next investigation.